All right, ladies, thank you for tuning in again. Today, we are going to talk about your first week of breastfeeding. Let's make sure you're getting through that first week. That is very important that you get through this first week and you know what is going on. Okay, so we did talk about colostrum in the last video. We did talk about how it did last for up to 72 hours. So between 3 to 5 days, you will have your breast milk come in. And what happens is your milk fills up inside your breast. You'll have them big, luscious boobies. Let me tell you, girl. You'll have some big old boobies. Perfect. Okay? It may be engorged. You probably feel a little pain, of course. But the best way to regulate your milk is to nurse. I need you to make sure that you are nursing with your baby for the first week. Every 2 to 3 hours. I know it can be tiring. I promise you. I promise you. I've been doing it for 6 years. Okay. So I know it is tiring, but I want you to know that you can do it. You can do anything that you want to do. Okay. So make sure that you are feeding every 2 to 3 hours, at least 10 to 12 feedings per day. Okay. I need you to know that. Just make sure you're feeding your baby. And don't wait for your baby to cry. Most women, they say, okay, well, my baby's not hungry. He's calm, or she's calm. She's relaxed. But I need you to know the cues of a breastfed baby, or babies in general. When they're making fists, they're rooting, they're like, they're not saying anything. That's cool. It's cool that they're relaxed. But that's the time where you need to go ahead and offer your breast to your baby. So you won't have them crying and crying and crying, because now they're just overly hungry. So make sure you're feeding the baby every 2 to 3 hours, and you'll be good to go. So I want you to know some of the signs for your baby being well taken care of. On day 1, you should have 1 wet diaper. On day 2, you should have up to 2 wet diapers. And around day 4, you'll have your stools that should be yellow. It looks seedy. It's going to be amazing, ladies. Let me tell you, when I first seen my son with his seedy breastfeeding boo-boo, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. It was kind of weird at first, but it was different. It's very different. Okay. So, make sure that by day 4, your daughter or your son is having soft stools with yellow and seedy stools. Okay. All right. Now, when it comes to wet diapers, from day 1, you should have 1 wet diaper for your baby. Day 2, 2 wet diapers for your baby. And once your milk comes in, you should have up to 5 to 6 every 24 hours. So once your milk comes in on day 3 to 5, be prepared for more wet diapers. Don't worry. You got this covered. I promise you. I promise you. Just don't overwork yourself. Don't stress yourself out. All I need you to do is make sure that you're feeding them every 2 to 3 hours. I know you're going to be tired after the baby. Oh, your baby's not waking up because they're just so comfortable in their warm, cozy outfits that y'all just bought them. I get it. But you need to wake your baby up, because if you don't, you know what will happen next. You will have, you can have mastitis. Now, I've had mastitis. It's the worst thing in the world. Oh my God. The pain is insane. Not cool. You don't want to deal with mastitis at all. So how do you know when mastitis, or what is a mastitis? So mastitis is when your milk is so filled up because you missed a feeding. Maybe you slept through one of the feedings. Or maybe because your baby was so peaceful, you wanted some peace and quiet, that you decided to let them go through a feeding. And guess what? When you let that happen, your milk still is going to come in, because that's what you're supposed to do. So the first week, you're working on regulating your milk. So we need to establish great regulation. And the only way to do that is to feed your baby every 2 to 3 hours. So mastitis is when you'll have tenderness in your breast. It feel like a flu-like symptom. You'll feel a little weird. Your breast will be red. You'll be in pain. Oh, you're going to know. And I don't want you to know these things. This is why I'm creating these videos, because I don't want you to go through all the pain that I went through, because I didn't have the necessary tools for when I started my first journey on breastfeeding. To decrease the discomfort in your engorgement. If you're feeling like your breasts are really tender to touch, you can take some cabbage. Cabbage leaves are amazing. You just plop it right in there and just let it sit. It'll help you out. Just make sure you're definitely feeding every 2 to 3 hours. And I want you to understand, do not use a pump. You don't need a pump for the first 6 weeks, okay? I don't want you to use a pump. You got this. And stop worrying about, is my baby getting enough? That, we already talked about that. If you need to remind yourself, go ahead to the last video, okay? I need you to understand that it's okay. Your baby is fine. Wet diapers. This is what we do, wet diapers, okay? Of course, you'll be going to your doctor within the next couple of days because you do go to your doctor the first week or so, all right? So I want you to be prepared. So with your first week, make sure the only thing you need to focus on is feeding every 2 to 3 hours. Make sure you're feeding where the baby is not crying. Don't let them cry, okay? You don't have to wait till they cry to feed, all right? Make sure you see, if you see any rooting, anything like that, they're moving their hands, they're eating their hands, know that they're hungry. Go ahead and give them something to eat. And also, I want you to know sometimes babies are not hungry as well. I don't want you to get confused or get distraught over it. But yes, babies sometimes, they just want their mother. They want the comfort. Who wouldn't want to be comforted by the person who brought them into this world? Like, come on. We're amazing. We're the bomb, right? So if the only time you should have any concerns, this is when I would like you to go see a lactation consultant in the area. And if you ever need anyone, you can always go to my website called thebeautyofmotherhood.org. We'll have the directory up for you soon where you'll find lactation consultants in your area. You'll find midwives in your area, all of those type of things. Make sure you go and see a lactation specialist. I want you to understand that your doctor does not necessarily know about breastfeeding, okay? That's why there are lactation consultants. They're specialists. So if you feel like your baby is not eating enough, let's go ahead and get you inside to go see a lactation consultant. One way you will know your baby is not getting enough milk is, guess what? They won't have any wet diapers. So if they don't have any wet diapers, you need to go. Make an appointment ASAP, okay? Now, if your baby is having dark urine after day 3, you need to go to the lactation consultant, okay? Book an appointment. Let me know if you ever need any help. I'm here for you, okay? I'm here for you, all right? And if you have any symptoms of that engorgement with the redness in your breast, you're feeling real tender, feel like a flu, like little, you're going to know. Like, you know how we say when you think you're in labor, you're like, oh my gosh, I think I'm in labor. Oh my God. Girl, let me tell you, you know when you're in labor, because when you're in labor, you're not about to be talking, you're about to be screaming. So I want you to understand that you can do this. You are enough. This is the first week now. Don't forget, this is the first week. So tune in for my next week. We're going to go by weeks. I want to make sure you're good throughout your whole journey. I'll take you down the road to success for breastfeeding. All right. And I want to thank you for tuning in today. Remember that you are the bomb, ladies. I would love to have you ladies on as well. So let me know if you ever want to be on the show, as I call it, the Bomb Mom Show. Let me know if you want to be on the show. Show us your success. Show us what we have done to help you to make sure that you made it through, okay? And make sure you check us out on Facebook, The Beauty of Motherhood. You are the bomb. You deserve the world. Have a great night.